Many Americans watched with bewilderment as progressives, Democrats, and leftists in America politicized a horrible crime committed against our fellow citizens by an obsessed and vile man. As Representative Giffords lay in critical condition, a little girl slipped off to heaven and a venerable judge lay dead, not to mention the other dead and wounded. A swarm of politicians, pundits, entertainers, and media figures began a despicable blame game, first attacking Sarah Palin, then Glenn Beck, the Tea Party, Republican candidates, Rush Limbaugh, and others. The blitz of slander was so overwhelming that conservatives seemed stunned by such callous abuse of a tragedy of this magnitude. The New York Times, in a ridiculous move, turned to the hack leftist Poverty Law Center to analyze the shooter. Predictably, they surmised that he was certainly influenced by right-wing patriot groups. Then, as the first session of Congress met after the crime, the leftists were ready to sponsor bills contrary to the First and Second Amendments after they had publicly read the Constitution less than a week beforehand.
All of this stuff about delegitimizing the President of the United States, that is uncalled for. The hanging over the banister that some members did last year, egging on the demonstrators out there, that stuff is uncalled for. We ought to conduct ourselves in public office in the way we teach our children to conduct themselves when they go out into the public.
When President Reagan was shot, the conservatives did not call for unconstitutional bills or demagogue the situation for political gain, although many leftists in the entertainment industry and media of the time continuously attacked and ridiculed President Reagan from day one.
Jimmy, don't make me have to kill you.
Today, the liberal machine did not seem to care what the actual postings and beliefs of the suspect are. His worldview is irrelevant somehow. No, the idea seems to be just use anyone, anything, any means to promote the leftist cause. Eventually, we saw the conservatives get their bearings and defend themselves.
No, only Sarah Palin. Why? Bias. No,
Andy, I think you're responsible by bringing this up, of doing the very thing you're trying to condemn.
And you know, we've had some people question whether that is something you should be sharing now, because tempers are already inflamed. People are upset about what's happened. The grieving families are still mourning. The bodies have yet to be buried. And is it the time, really, to be injecting speculative opinion like that into this case by somebody like yourself, the sheriff?
The truth is that one of the most vitriolic politicians in the last two election cycles was actually President Obama.
Republicans, I want you to argue with them and get in their face. I don't want to quell anger. I think people are right to be angry. I'm angry. What I want us to do, though, is channel our anger in a constructive way.
We're going to punish our enemies, and we're going to reward our friends who stand with us on issues that are important to us.
And during the 2008 campaign, he told a Philadelphia audience how the Democrats would fend off the Republicans. If they bring a knife to the fight, we bring a gun. Because from what I understand, folks in Philly like a good brawl. I've seen Eagles fans. At the time, no conservatives threw a fit and accused him of inciting violence. Concerned Americans want to know the worldview and philosophical motivations of this criminal mind, and his internet postings combined with descriptions from his friends give us a consistent view of his conspiracy theories. He was, by all accounts, 1, an ardent atheist, and 2, an anti-government leftist. His atheism has been reported by his friends and is clear in his posts under the username ERAD3. In 2010, he wrote, "Christianity and Buddhism philosophy is not nonfiction. God couldn't be possible. Crap on anyone who is believing Christianity without evidence of a writer. Who formed the word God?" Referring to the Bible, he wrote, "Earn money from a great lie and a fictional story, and complete nonsense from a fictional story that should be ridiculed." According to his friends, one of Loughner's favorite bands in high school was the leftist group Anti-Flag. Much of the band's lyrics have focused on fervent anti-war activism, criticism of United States foreign policy, corporatism, U.S. wealth distribution, and various socio-political sentiments. He believed the government used currency, religion, and language to control the people. He referred to America as a terrorist nation, a common term used by anti-war leftists, and he referred to the need to use the Geneva Convention to define war crimes, another favorite attack from the left. Additionally, he believed the government orchestrated 9/11 and faked the moon landing, all space travel, and the Mars rovers. His documented hatred for Representative Giffords dates back to 2007, long before the 2008 elections, Sarah Palin, or the Tea Party movement. The media and all self-righteous hypocrites strutting around the national stage are so concerned about the consequences of words and heated rhetoric, when the real concern should be the consequences of ideas, the ideas which led to this man's desire for chaos. For God is not a God of chaos, but of peace.